Meat showers refer to reported incidents of meat falling from the sky, with the most famous case occurring in Bath County, Kentucky in 1876. Witnesses described chunks of meat, approximately 2 inches in size, falling over an area of 100 yards by 50 yards. Scientific investigations at the time identified the substance as lung tissue from either a horse or a human infant, with some samples resembling deer or bear flesh. The most widely accepted explanation, proposed by Charles Fort in 1931, suggests that the meat shower resulted from a flock of vultures disgorging their meals mid-flight. Modern researchers have confirmed that most samples were likely lung tissue from a horse or similar species, supporting the vulture theory. Studies on vulture behavior show that they vomit as a defense mechanism and to lighten their body weight for flight, potentially explaining how meat could fall from the sky. Similar incidents have been reported in other parts of the world, including Argentina in 1890 and Tennessee in 1841, though these cases lack the extensive documentation of the Kentucky event. Meat stations refer to a fringe theory proposing the existence of secret facilities where human flesh is processed for consumption. Proponents of this theory suggest that these stations are operated by powerful organizations or government entities to dispose of bodies while simultaneously supplying an underground market for human meat. Some believers point to unexplained disappearances and the occasional discovery of unidentified human bodily remains as potential evidence for the existence of meat stations. The theory often incorporates elements of organ trafficking, suggesting that valuable body parts are harvested before the remaining flesh is processed. Supporters of the meat station concept sometimes cite historical accounts of cannibalism during times of extreme famine or in isolated communities as precedents for organized human meat production. Some conspiracy theorists link the idea of meat stations to claims of satanic rituals or secret societies that allegedly engage in cannibalistic practices. The memory placebo effect refers to a theory suggesting that the act of believing one has a good memory can actually improve memory performance. Proponents of this concept argue that individuals who are told they have exceptional memory skills tend to perform better on memory tasks, regardless of their actual abilities. Some studies have shown that participants who were given a placebo memory-enhancing pill performed better on memory tests compared to those who received no treatment. Researchers exploring this phenomenon propose that the belief in improved memory activates cognitive processes that enhance attention, encoding, and recall of information. Supporters of the memory placebo effect point to the power of suggestion and the brain's ability to rewire itself based on expectations as potential mechanisms for this phenomenon. Some experiments have demonstrated that individuals who are told they belong to a group stereotypically associated with good memory, such as young adults or Asians, tend to perform better on memory tests. Memphis Rap refers to a distinct subgenre of hip-hop music that emerged in Memphis, Tennessee during the 1990s, characterized by its dark, lo-fi production and often violent or occult-themed lyrics. Proponents of this style believe it has influenced modern trap music and cloud rap, pointing to similarities in production techniques and lyrical themes. The genre is known for its use of horror movie samples, pitched-down vocals, and repetitive hypnotic beats that create an eerie atmosphere. Some fans argue that Memphis Rap contains hidden messages or references to occult practices, citing lyrics that mention demons, sacrifices, or ancient Egyptian symbology.
People took a real keen interest to, like, you know, industry, like inside, like who's controlling what and what. Have you ever seen anything crazy, Messianic, satanic, whatever, in the industry?
I'll put you like this.
I won't. Whoa, hold on. Hold on. What's going on? What's going on?
I would say
You're gonna let me get smart back here.
Believers in the genre's deeper significance often point to the success of artists who were influenced by Memphis Rap, suggesting a connection between the style and achieving fame or power in the music industry. Certain listeners claim that prolonged exposure to Memphis Rap can induce altered states of consciousness or even trigger supernatural experiences. Anti-medicine refers to a belief system that rejects conventional medical practices in favor of alternative or natural healing methods. Proponents of anti-medicine argue that many modern medical treatments are harmful and that the pharmaceutical industry prioritizes profit over patient health. Some adherents point to historical examples of medical errors or harmful treatments as evidence that conventional medicine is fundamentally flawed. Anti-medicine advocates often promote the use of herbal remedies, dietary changes, and lifestyle modifications as alternatives to prescription drugs and surgical interventions. Supporters of this view sometimes cite the placebo effect and the body's natural healing abilities as evidence that many medical treatments are unnecessary. Some anti-medicine believers argue that certain diseases are caused by emotional or spiritual imbalances rather than physical factors, and thus cannot be treated effectively by conventional medicine. While widely criticized by the medical community, the anti-medicine movement continues to gain followers who seek more natural or holistic approaches to health and healing. Men in Black refers to a theory about mysterious figures who allegedly appear to witnesses of UFO sightings or paranormal events, often to suppress information or intimidate people into silence. These individuals are typically described as wearing black suits, sunglasses, and hats, giving them a distinctive and somewhat unsettling appearance. Proponents of the Men in Black theory claim that these figures possess advanced technology and knowledge beyond that of ordinary humans, suggesting a possible extraterrestrial or government connection. Some witnesses report that Men in Black appear to have unusual physical characteristics, such as extremely pale skin or strange speech patterns, leading to speculation about their true nature or origin. Believers in this phenomenon point to consistent descriptions of Men in Black encounters across different time periods and geographic locations as evidence of their existence. Some theorists suggest that the Men in Black may be time travelers or interdimensional beings tasked with maintaining the secrecy of certain events or preventing changes to the timeline. Mental problems theory refers to the idea that many psychological disorders are not actual illnesses, but rather natural responses to difficult life circumstances or societal pressures. Proponents of this theory argue that labeling normal human reactions as mental illnesses leads to overdiagnosis and unnecessary medication. Supporters point to the subjective nature of diagnosing mental disorders and the frequent changes in diagnostic criteria as evidence that these conditions may not be as concrete as traditionally believed. Some adherents suggest that experiences like depression or anxiety serve evolutionary purposes, such as promoting problem solving or avoiding dangerous situations. The theory proposes that societal factors, including poverty, discrimination, and social isolation, are often the root causes of what are labeled as mental health issues. Advocates argue that the current mental health system benefits pharmaceutical companies more than patients, citing the dramatic increase in prescription rates for psychotropic drugs. Mereological nihilism is a philosophical theory proposing that composite objects do not exist, and only fundamental particles or simples are real. This view suggests that everyday objects like chairs, tables, or even humans are not truly existent, but rather convenient ways of describing arrangements of simples. Proponents argue that this theory offers the simplest explanation of reality, adhering to the principle of Occam's razor by avoiding unnecessary complexity in ontology. Supporters claim that mereological nihilism resolves paradoxes of composition, such as the ship of Theseus problem, by eliminating the concept of persistent composite objects. The theory provides a novel approach to personal identity, suggesting that individuals do not persist through time, but are merely simples arranged person-wise at different moments. Some philosophers argue that this view aligns with certain interpretations of quantum mechanics, which describe reality as fundamentally composed of indivisible particles. While counterintuitive, advocates of mereological nihilism maintain that it preserves observable reality by acknowledging phenomena attributed to composite objects, even if it denies their existence as distinct entities. Mermaid sightings refer to reported encounters with aquatic creatures that possess human-like upper bodies and fish-like lower bodies. These reports have persisted throughout history, with accounts spanning various cultures and geographic locations, from ancient Greek mythology to modern-day claims. Some believers point to the similarity of descriptions across different cultures as evidence for the existence of mermaids, suggesting a common source for these accounts. Proponents of mermaid sightings often cite the vast unexplored areas of the ocean as potential habitats for these creatures, arguing that many marine species remain undiscovered. Certain cryptozoologists propose that mermaids could be an undiscovered species of aquatic mammals, possibly related to seals or manatees, that have evolved human-like features. Some supporters of mermaid theories suggest that historical accounts from sailors and explorers, such as Christopher Columbus, lend credibility to the existence of these beings. Metaphysical concepts proven through science refers to the idea that certain philosophical or spiritual beliefs can be validated using scientific methods and discoveries. Proponents of this view argue that recent advances in quantum physics, neuroscience, and cosmology provide evidence for metaphysical concepts such as consciousness, free will, and the nature of reality. Some researchers point to quantum entanglement as potential proof of interconnectedness on a universal scale, supporting metaphysical ideas about the unity of all things. Studies on near-death experiences and altered states of consciousness are sometimes cited as scientific evidence for the existence of non-physical aspects of human experience. Supporters of this theory often reference the observer effect in quantum mechanics as proof that consciousness plays a fundamental role in shaping reality. Some scientists and philosophers argue that the fine-tuning of universal constants necessary for life suggests a purposeful design, potentially validating metaphysical concepts of a higher power or intelligence. While controversial in mainstream scientific circles, the idea that metaphysical concepts can be proven through science continues to intrigue those seeking to bridge the gap between spiritual beliefs and empirical research. Michigan Blue Hell refers to a supposed paranormal location in Michigan's forests. Believers describe it as an ethereal blue-tinted underworld where strange phenomena occur. Reports include sightings of spectral figures, time distortions, and eerie atmospheric changes. Some link it to ley lines, hypothetical energy channels connecting significant sites globally. The blue glow reported could potentially be explained by bioluminescent fungi or methane gas emissions. Electronic malfunctions and unusual animal behavior in the area lend credence to claims of paranormal activity. Microchips found in fossils refers to a controversial claim that advanced technology has been discovered embedded within ancient rock formations. Proponents of this theory point to alleged finds of small metallic or crystalline objects with complex internal structures inside prehistoric remains. These purported discoveries challenge conventional timelines of technological development and suggest the possibility of highly advanced ancient civilizations or even extraterrestrial visitation. Some researchers claim to have found microscopic structures in fossils that resemble modern integrated circuits, complete with what appear to be tiny wires and semiconductors. Advocates argue that the complexity and precision of these alleged microstructures are beyond the capabilities of natural geological processes. The idea gained traction in some circles after images circulated online showing what looked like circuit-like patterns in cross-sections of rocks claimed to be millions of years old. Skeptics argue that these findings are likely misidentifications of natural mineral formations or contamination from modern sources during the excavation or analysis process. Believers in the theory suggest that mainstream science may be suppressing or ignoring evidence that could fundamentally alter our understanding of human history and technological progress. Some proponents speculate that if genuine, such discoveries could indicate the cyclical nature of civilizations, with advanced societies rising and falling multiple times throughout Earth's history. The concept ties into broader alternative theories about out-of-place artifacts and lost ancient knowledge, proposing that humanity's technological capabilities may have fluctuated dramatically over time. The Millennial Reign refers to a theory that Jesus Christ already returned and ruled on Earth for 1,000 years during what we know as the Dark Ages. This theory proposes that the Tartarian Empire was actually Christ's kingdom during this millennial reign. Proponents point to Jesus' statements that he would return soon and was at the door, arguing this suggests he wouldn't wait over 2,000 years to come back. They also cite scripture saying, "Every eye shall see him, and those that pierced him," interpreting this to mean Jesus returned within the generation that witnessed his crucifixion. According to this view, after the 1,000-year reign ended, Satan was allowed to return and rule for a season as prophesied. Believers in this theory claim evidence of Christ's reign was hidden or destroyed, and we've been living in Satan's short season ever since. Some adherents point to dates on Tartarian buildings that appear to have had a 1 added to them as evidence that 1,000 years were artificially added to our calendar to cover up this history. The idea frames the Dark Ages as actually being the prosperous millennial reign, positioning modern times as the deceptive era that followed. Mind over body refers to the concept that mental processes can influence physical states and even alter bodily functions. Proponents argue that through focused thought and willpower, individuals can control various aspects of their physiology. Some practitioners claim to achieve feats like regulating body temperature, heart rate, or even healing injuries through mental techniques. Research in psychoneuroimmunology has shown connections between mental states and immune system function, lending some credence to mind-body interactions. The placebo effect, where belief in a treatment leads to measurable physical improvements, is often cited as evidence for the mind's power over the body. Meditation and mindfulness practices have been associated with changes in brain structure and function, suggesting a tangible link between mental focus and physical processes. Some studies indicate that visualization techniques used by athletes can lead to improved physical performance, implying a direct mental influence on muscular activity. Experiments with biofeedback have demonstrated that people can learn to consciously control certain involuntary bodily processes through mental focus. Practitioners of certain yoga disciplines claim to achieve extraordinary bodily control, such as slowing heart rate or surviving extreme cold, through mental mastery. While many mainstream scientists remain skeptical, ongoing research in fields like neuroscience and psychophysiology continues to explore the extent of the mind's influence over the body. Minecraft's enigmatic origins refers to alternative theories about the true creators of the immensely popular sandbox game. Some believe that Minecraft was actually built by humans from the future, using advanced knowledge to shape our society. Proponents point to the game's seemingly prescient features and its profound cultural impact as evidence of futuristic origins. The theory suggests that future humans designed Minecraft as a subtle tool for social engineering, preparing current humanity for upcoming challenges. Advocates argue that the game's emphasis on resource management, creativity, and collaborative building serves a greater purpose beyond mere entertainment. The procedurally generated worlds are seen by some as evidence of computational power beyond our current capabilities. Regular updates to the game are viewed as carefully timed releases of pre-existing content, guided by future knowledge of optimal societal impact. Another theory proposes that Minecraft was autonomously generated by an advanced AI system, rather than human developers. Supporters of this idea argue that the game's complexity and variety in procedurally generated worlds surpass human design capabilities. The unique blend of simplicity and depth in Minecraft's gameplay is cited as evidence of an optimized, inhuman design process. Some believers claim that hidden patterns or structures within the game's code reveal non-human origins, potentially containing encrypted messages. Regular updates are interpreted as the AI refining its creation based on player data and behavior, continuously evolving the game experience. Proponents argue that Minecraft's massive success demonstrates an AI's superior understanding of human psychology and gameplay preferences. Both theories challenge the official narrative of Minecraft's development and suggest a more complex origin for the influential game. MIRL Cults refers to online groups that transition into real-life meetings with cult-like behaviors and shared beliefs. These groups often originate on web forums, social media platforms, or dedicated websites before evolving into physical gatherings. The internet's global reach allows for a broad recruitment base, connecting individuals who feel isolated or misunderstood. One documented case involved a group formed around a self-proclaimed spiritual guru on a web forum, which progressed to in-person group meditations and ceremonies. Another instance centered on a UFO-focused online community that communicated via encrypted emails before meeting in a remote location to prepare for an alleged extraterrestrial arrival. The anonymity offered by the internet enables people to express unconventional beliefs without fear of judgment, facilitating the formation of these groups. Shared experiences, particularly intense or unusual ones, can create strong bonds between individuals, contributing to the cult-like devotion observed in some MIRL groups. Not all MIRL cults are necessarily harmful. Some may simply be communities of individuals with shared interests choosing to gather in person. Sociological and psychological studies support the idea that periods of social or personal crisis can contribute to the emergence of such groups. MKUltra refers to a covert CIA program that conducted illegal human experimentation from the 1950s to the 1970s, focusing on mind control and behavior modification. The project involved numerous sub-projects, testing various drugs, psychological manipulation techniques, and even hypnosis on unwitting subjects. Declassified documents reveal that MKUltra experiments were conducted in hospitals, universities, and prisons across the United States and Canada. LSD was a primary focus of the program, with researchers exploring its potential for interrogation, behavior control, and even as a truth serum. Some theories suggest that MKUltra's reach extended beyond its official termination in 1973, with alleged ongoing experiments in mind control technology. Proponents of these theories point to unusual behavioral patterns in certain individuals, claiming they may be the result of continued MKUltra-style programming. The program's association with prominent figures like Ken Kesey and Whitey Bulger has fueled speculation about its long-term societal impacts. Some researchers argue that modern psychological warfare techniques and targeted advertising strategies have roots in MKUltra research. Conspiracy theories link MKUltra to various high-profile assassinations and terrorist attacks, suggesting mind-controlled subjects as perpetrators. While many official MKUltra documents were destroyed in 1973, the surviving records and Senate hearings have confirmed the program's existence and scope. Moai Statues refers to the colossal stone figures on Easter Island, which some theorize may be more than just representations of ancestors. Proponents of this view suggest the statues could be literal embodiments of the Rapa Nui people, containing their spiritual essence or mana. The indigenous Rapa Nui language offers a clue, as Moai can be translated to mean existence or reality, hinting at a deeper significance. Some researchers point to the varied physical characteristics of the Moai, arguing they mirror the diverse appearances of the island's inhabitants. The practice of ancestor worship on the island supports the idea that the Rapa Nui believed in the real presence of their forebears within these stone figures. Anthropologists have noted that the transfer of spiritual energy to objects was considered a real, tangible process in Rapa Nui culture, not merely symbolic. This theory frames the act of carving Moai as a form of self-preservation, with the Rapa Nui literally embedding themselves into the landscape. The individual features of each Moai statue could be seen as evidence of personalized representations, rather than generic ancestral figures. Some interpret the placement and orientation of the Moai as indicators of their role as active guardians rather than passive monuments. Monkey hate refers to an unexplained psychological phenomenon where certain individuals experience an intense, irrational aversion to images or videos of monkeys and apes. This aversion goes beyond normal dislike, often manifesting as visceral anger, disgust, or even physical discomfort when exposed to primate imagery. Some affected individuals report feeling an overwhelming urge to harm or kill monkeys when seeing them, despite having no prior negative experiences with these animals. The phenomenon is not limited to a specific demographic or geographic region, with reports coming from various countries and cultures. Online communities have formed around this shared experience, with members discussing their symptoms and seeking explanations for their unusual reactions. Some researchers hypothesize that monkey hate may be related to uncanny valley effects, where human-like characteristics in non-human entities trigger discomfort. Evolutionary psychologists suggest it could be a vestigial response related to ancient human primate competition or disease avoidance instincts. Neuroimaging studies on affected individuals have shown heightened activity in brain regions associated with disgust and fear when viewing monkey images. Critics argue that monkey hate may be a form of mass psychogenic illness, spread through social contagion in online spaces. Despite ongoing research, the exact causes and mechanisms behind monkey hate remain elusive, making it a subject of continued scientific interest and speculation. Monsanto refers to a multinational agrochemical company known for its production of genetically modified organisms, GMOs, and herbicides, particularly Roundup. Critics argue that Monsanto's Roundup-ready crops encourage overuse of glyphosate, potentially leading to the evolution of herbicide-resistant superweeds. Some scientific studies have suggested links between glyphosate exposure and health issues, including non-Hodgkin lymphoma. Internal company documents brought to light during lawsuits indicate that Monsanto may have been aware of potential risks associated with glyphosate for decades. Environmental concerns include the decline of monarch butterflies due to the destruction of milkweed by Roundup, and reduced agricultural biodiversity from widespread GMO monocultures. Monsanto's enforcement of patents on genetically modified seeds has been controversial, preventing farmers from saving and replanting seeds from their crops. The company has faced accusations of biopiracy for patenting genetic resources and traditional agricultural knowledge without proper consent or compensation. Thousands of lawsuits have been filed against Monsanto by individuals claiming that Roundup exposure caused them to develop cancer. The World Health Organization's International Agency for Research on Cancer classified glyphosate as probably carcinogenic to humans in 2015. Despite these concerns, Monsanto maintains that its products are safe when used as directed and have contributed significantly to increasing global food production. The Montauk Project refers to alleged secret government experiments conducted at Camp Hero or Montauk Air Force Station on Long Island in the 1970s and 1980s. Proponents claim these experiments involved mind control, time travel, and contact with alien beings. Some believe the project was a continuation of the Philadelphia experiment, which supposedly involved teleportation and time travel with naval ships. Witnesses claim to have seen strange lights and experienced electronic device malfunctions near the Montauk facility during the alleged experiment period. Former military personnel have come forward with accounts of participation in unusual psychological experiments at the site. The facility's high-power radar equipment is cited by some as potential technology for manipulating the fabric of space and time. Conspiracy theorists point to the abrupt closure of the base in 1981 and its subsequent abandonment as evidence of a cover-up. Some accounts describe the creation of a Montauk chair, purportedly used for amplifying psychic abilities and opening portals to other dimensions. Believers in the project claim that children were abducted and subjected to mind control experiments, resulting in dissociative disorders and repressed memories. The theory gained popularity through books and documentaries, with some arguing that certain elements of the story align with known government research into psychic phenomena and mind control.